Are we live yet? We're waiting on the live stream. If this is not live, hello, my name is Todd Standing. I will probably repeat this in a second. It is the Christmas show, and I talk about Bigfoot. It says I'm live now. Good evening, everybody. My name is Todd Standing. I'm the man that takes people out into the field and has them either live interact with or eyewitness a Sasquatch. Merry Christmas. I say Christmas. I don't. Maybe some people are offended by that. If you are, I apologize. I celebrate the coldest, darkest day of the year. I'm a North man, legit. I love the snow. I love the winter. Hello, SoCal Force Ninjas, Chris Baker, Bomber. Hey, hey. What we do is we answer questions. You amazing people that come on here, Frank, Pamela, Whitney, you amazing, awesome people ask me very difficult, hard to answer questions, and I love it. The more difficult, the better. I'm going to start off with a question that I think is just fantastic. How do we, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I'm good with whoever celebrates this amazing, coldest, darkest time of the year, which is just fantastic. What are the Sasquatch doing right now? Let's talk about that. So I'm firmly convinced that they are in caves and they are eating elksicles and deersicles and maybe moosicles. I believe at this time of year, they will kill a bunch of elk, kill a bunch of deer, and they will sit down in caves and cuddle up and eat meat. It's going to be a hard time, I would think. A Sasquatch cannot be running around in the snow and the cold because of their feet. They have big feet. They call them Bigfoot, and they're big fleshy feet, and their feet would freeze up. I'm sure they could. I'm doing the Iceman training now, Wim Hof. The guy's amazing. What he can do barefoot. He's got a Guinness record for one of his barefoot. I believe he hiked up a mountain, a crazy mountain, barefoot. And I'm training that stuff. Sasquatch are going to be at a level that's incredible and amazing. However, as tough as human beings can be, as tough as species can be, there's a reason when you're day and night in the freezing cold, snow contacted, it's going to hurt. There's going to be a problem. Wolves have little feet with huge amounts of hair in between them. Mountain lions, they survive. Bears don't do winter for extended periods of time. That's why they hibernate. And I'm very, very convinced that the Sasquatch do. Their caves will be near a water source. They're going to need water, and they're going to need food, and they're going to need shelter. And I just believe they cuddle up and hang out. And I believe that's why they get excited when it's the rut, when it's fall, because they know what's coming. They know they're going to be sitting around. In the spring, I don't think they get tremendously too excited, at least in my experience, because they're devoted to putting on calories and survival, right? Because if you've seen animals after the spring, elk they can look like zombies. They're all like even the mountain lions and the wolves will be just, animals will be dropping dead because they can't survive because winter is harsh and brutal where I'm from and in Canada. And maybe not so much, maybe in places where they'll have it easier, but just, winter is winter and it's harsh. And, you get Washington State and Oregon, winters are much less there. So anyways, but what's really interesting too is, so what I'm talking about is they're going to have to, the food sources, vegetation is down to minimal, right? In winter, obviously. So what's something that's really important is how are we going to identify? So you come along a carcass, how do you identify that's been, it's a Sasquatch kill? And there's probably other things that we're going to develop and other things that I'm working on. But my number one thing that I'm going to tell you guys to know that it's like a tree break. When I see a tree break, that's a Sasquatch. Of a tree break, I am so convinced. I'm 99% convinced. More than that, I'm 100% convinced. I'm not going to lie. It's like asking me, is Sasquatch real? Am I 99%? No, I'm not a believer. I know they exist. Do I believe I drive a car? Do I believe bears are real? Yes, Sasquatch are real. So tree breaks are real. The structures have been made by Sasquatch. That's real. I'm at about 99% that when you see, what happens is along the rib cage of an elk or a deer or a moose, what the Sasquatch will do is they'll bust the rib off where it attaches to the spine in the back. And what happens is there's lots of nutrients and there's a special kind of blood and meat and it's marrow. It's a special kind of marrow that's in there, and they suck that marrow out of the rib, and they suck it out of the spine. And they'll do that, and it's broken off. It's not chewed. It's not, and there's no animal that does that. Bears and wolves, they don't do that. Nothing does that. If they're going to get to that marrow in the spine, they will, but they'll do it in different ways. They're not going to snap it off, and you'll see little ribs all over the place. Of course, coyotes and foxes and whatever else come along will chew and spread that stuff out. But when you see it snapped off right off the spine, that's 99%. You're amongst a Sasquatch carcass. And then what does that tell us? So Sasquatch are hunting in the area. So do you have a family group in the area? And that's what you want to be excited about. If you're talking about a rogue male or female, because that has to happen. They have to. There's no way that these groups aren't moving and interacting, and you have to do that to prevent inbreeding. Gorillas and chimpanzees do that, obviously. So human beings do that. So you don't want to. If you're in an event where it's a rogue wandering around alone, they're going to wander all over the place. They're not going to have home habitat and have a good day. So, but if you have a family group, that's the big. If you're going to do this research, you're going to start studying the Sasquatch, and you see them and it's regularly happening, you see tracks. And another thing that's going to be key too is if you see youngsters tracks, right? Somebody has sent me a picture of a young Sasquatch track. The young Sasquatch tracks are almost rectangularly square. They're almost more square than rectangle. And I've seen that quite a few times. And I saw someone sent me a picture. The problem is it looks so good. Oof. Sometimes the tracks are good. I just look at a track that's like perfect and I go, oof. And I mean, it's perfect. Wow, it's perfect. So, and it can be. They can be. There can be perfect footprints, especially from young Sasquatch. I like to see some organicness. I like to see steps and twists and body movement. And when I see a perfect impression, it looks like a stamp, and I get a little skeptical because somebody can clay mold that, right? So, and if there's no dermal ridges, but I tell you, you can fool me with the photograph maybe, and it's not about fooling me. I'll tell you, it looks interesting is what I'll say. When I say it looks interesting, that's key for. John did that to me all the time, and it's something I'll look into and I'll start. It doesn't mean I'm pro or con of it. I'm just trying to keep an open mind. That's what we do in a discovery process. This is a discovery process. So anyway, when you get youngsters around those tracks, young tracks you're really looking at a group, and congratulations, you have a group of Sasquatch there, and hopefully you can start developing a relationship, which would be amazing, right? Having a relationship with a troop of Sasquatch. That's what they do with gorillas. After 8 years, a good primatologist can have interactions and successfully start studying a troop of gorillas the way Dian Fossey, the way the great and amazing Dian Fossey, the late great Dian Fossey, and the currently great and amazing Jane Goodall would have studied them when they were in their prime. I have so much respect and admiration for them. Probably one of the best things to do is study primatology. I think gorillas, I've studied a lot of chimpanzee and a lot of gorilla stuff, and I think gorillas are the closest behavioral wise to Sasquatch. So, and we'll see if my theories hold through. These are theories. I theorize. Everybody must do this. You must do this. This is how science works that way, but in my opinion, good investigation works this way. When you're in a discovery process, you theorize something. So for an example, I said there's 15,000 Sasquatch in North America total. That's my theory, and that's my even a hypothesis. So and I want it debated. I want to talk about that, and people will convince me it's lower or higher, and then my theory will grow and evolve until the day when we can actually make appropriate numbers based on, hard science. So those are my numbers, but so I put that out there, and I want people to try to, I want to hear their theories, and I want to hear how they came about those numbers, and so. Yeah, that's how we work in a discovery process. Someone asking me what a Bigfoot smell like. I smell an awful lot like a gorilla. Awful lot of similarities. Talk about gorillas. It's a whoops. Oh my goodness, there's 100 questions here, guys. So I'm going to start getting these questions. You guys are amazing. So I'm going today till my computer runs out. My computer's not plugged in. I'm in a secret location like Art Bell from Coast to Coast. I was a fan. I was on Coast to Coast a couple times with Art Bell. I know he's passed away. But yeah, I was a big fan, so I'm broadcasting from a secret spot. I'm just in Calgary, Alberta. It's Christmas, and I'm in the family basement. So, do you think it's possible that governments know about? Absolutely. This is Coma. Absolutely, governments know. Yes. They've studied them. There's data on it. They know about them. Yes. So, no doubt in my mind. Hey, Todd, have you ever heard of a Sasquatch belch really loud? From Angelo? No. When and I like to laugh and stuff, but when Sasquatch come around me, so I'm going to take that funny question. It's funny, Sasquatch, okay, funny. But when Sasquatch come around me, they're very serious. It's and even if they're playing in a way that's cautious and highly intelligent and brilliant. So they're not gonna, and maybe there are pranks. They'll throw stuff at me, and sometimes even I've heard them kind of be funny about stuff. You know, the incident where they were funny was I found excellent Sasquatch tracks. I manipulated a situation where I got the most incredible Sasquatch tracks. I went down to go get the casting material, came back up, and they'd covered them all up brilliantly. Like I couldn't believe, shocked. So I'm sitting there shocked, having taken casting material. You know how heavy that crap is, with water all the way up the mountain to get these casts, and they'd covered them all up perfectly. I had photographs of them, and then photographs of them before and after. It's unbelievable. It's like a landscaper went there and just disappeared these tracks, and they made a little hey. Right, and that's them laughing at me, going, "You think you got us? You don't got us. You don't got us." So we know, we get it. You're not getting tracks from me. They're trackers, and they know that tracks lead to them. They know that. So if you're going out, like I've done this quite a few times, and I got smoked. I go out in the snow and I go, "This is a Sasquatch trackway. I'm following him to the end of the earth." Put on my backpack, and if it takes me a week, I'm going wherever this trackway goes, and they outwit me every single time. Without problem, without question. You're taking on, I think they verse each other with tracks. I think Sasquatch will come around and track Sasquatches. You know what I mean? So, and actually I know that. I've seen young ones trying to run away from mom, and mom tackling them in the snow. Like of course there's little things like that. Trackers versus trackers. It's their life. That's what they are. They're the greatest trackers that have ever lived in North America. And out of all the love and respect I have for all the incredible Iroquois and Cree and Apache trackers, those trackers will tell you Sasquatch are a whole level above them, right? And an incredible native tracker will tell you, I ride around on a horse, I have a gun, and I sleep by the fires. You know what I mean? With a blanket and clothes on. And Sasquatch would never get on a horse. They don't need it. They'll never have a gun. They don't need it. The native person would like to sometimes sleep in the open with a fire. And you think the Sasquatch they look at us and go, "What the hell? Look how dumb you are. You start a fire, I can see you for 20 miles. Dumbass." Sasquatch sleep on the ground in a quiet spot with all the... hell, Sasquatch have taught me, by tracking Sasquatch, I learned how to walk through certain kinds of sphagnum moss. I see they do this thing, and I start doing that, and I'm less tired as I walk. I've seen spots where they sleep, and I go, "Look at this, is brilliant." They got like the high ground, low ground, the position here. Like, this is a brilliant place to sleep. All the vegetation in that way is hugely loud, and you couldn't sneak up on this guy. And I thought, man, I'm going to learn to sleep there. I've even seen them find contours in the earth that they sleep on. It's like sleeping on a soft piece of sphagnum moss with a contour. It's like a lawn chair, and you can find that stuff when you look for it with logs in certain spots and all these different. It's just brilliant. So they're so smart. Todd, I recorded my last encounter, many vocalizations documented. Please listen to them. Okay, well, I'll get Amanda on that to... is Amanda here? Who's here? Who are my people here today? So I'm sure there's somebody around, and or just bigfootencounter@gmail.com. Please send it to there. Send me the link there, and go to my website. There's contact us at the website and stuff. I'm gonna start doing with the help of Phil. I'm gonna start doing newsletters, and and I'm working on California Bigfoot, and then I'm gonna work on Discovering Bigfoot Part 2, which will have new footage, and yeah. So Chieftain says Bigfoot everywhere on my reservation, Colville, Indiana reservation in Washington. Look at that, right? And the reservations are awesome. I go into reservations, and they just know Sasquatch are real. You know what's going to tick off people in reservations? I'll give you a little hint. Don't go into a reservation with all these people that have been here for 20,000 plus years, these native people. This is their land. They have a connection to it that's thousands of years old. Don't go in there and give them dirty looks when they talk about stuff. Shut your mouth and learn. Learn. Be a student. Figure it out. Don't go in there omnipotent and tell them and look at them funny ways. People go into reserves and they go, Sasquatch, I did this. I'm telling you because I did this. And I go, I don't know if Sasquatch are real. And you look at these guys, they know. They look at you like you're stupid, right? It's like coming into civilization and going, I don't know if doorknobs are real. And they go, well, I have a doorknob. They're real. Yeah, but I don't know if they really work. And the real dummy doorknob. I know doorknob is a silly thing to say, but they know it. They know bear are real, they know deer are real, they know Sasquatch are real. They've been taught. Some of these, on these reserves, they've been taught how to deal. What do you do when a Sasquatch comes around? They know. They go, do this and do that, and this is what's happening, right? So, and I love that. Go on reserves. It's when you go on a reserve, things change in that you're not having a discussion whether Sasquatch are real or not. You're having a discussion about behaviors and things that have happened and why. It's that upper level, and I like that level a lot. I really enjoy it. They'll teach me things, and I love to learn. I love it. So, and there's lots of reserves like that. So, and that's wonderful. Congratulations, Chieftain 023. Bigfoot everywhere on my road. You got a family there, right? They're all around you, and that's Colville, Indiana. And I'd love to hear more about that, right? DiscoveringBigfoot.org is my website, and please let's start cooperating, people. There's more stuff, like Chieftain, dude. Get in there. Let's friend me on Facebook. Let's send me a Facebook is good, guys. I'm gonna work hard on Facebook. I'm gonna work really hard. I'm gonna clean up my Facebook. You only can have 5,000 friends, but I'm gonna clean up my friends list. I want Facebook people to be involved somehow and doing something. If I could get 5,000 people, even 2,000 of the people on my Facebook account really involved, sharing videos and talking to people and handling investigations and all cooperating, I'd love that. And then we're gonna start working. Amanda has got the forum on discoveringbigfoot.org, right? I want to do so much, guys. I want to do so much. If you're really, there's some kick-ass guys I want to start cooperating with. My channel is doing really well. If you're an up and coming in Bigfoot, I want to have a station. The goal is to have like Gaia, Sasquatch Gaia. And it's just all about discovering Bigfoot, all the way down. People making films, people having radio shows, people talking about it, people doing investing. Let's get crazy about this. Let's nail this. Let's cooperate. You know what I mean? And I'd be very excited to do that. Wouldn't that be exciting? And we can manage that stuff. There are people that are cooperating and working with me right now that want to do this stuff. It's just a matter of, let's just say yes. Let's get this and do that. Let's blow this thing up. Let's go kill it. Because cooperation is powerful, guys. I filmed a Sasquatch in California, and I'm so proud of that. Because how did I film a Sasquatch in 3 days? You better bet your butt. I stood on the shoulders of people that have been native people in California. And because I was cooperating with them and I'd been mentoring them for years, telling them and working. Even what happened that's so cool with that was, so there's an older native guy, and he's a tracker. He's got all the traditions, and his kids aren't really interested. But they kind of like Survivor Man. And then Survivor Man segued into Todd Standing. And they started watching my documentary and realizing that their dad is actually talking to Todd Standing. And that's great. Let's use that. Todd Standing, who worked with Dr. Bitternagel and Dr. Meldrum and Survivor Man. So they started getting more interested because of the documentary and the little bit of power that I don't, whatever you want to call it, the demi-celebrity that I have. I started working with his sons, and his sons got involved. They started loving tracking and loving animals, and I mentored them and helped them out, and they got these incredible things going on with one troop of Sasquatch, a whole group of them, and one particular individual of Sasquatch that I got decent footage of. And it's all because of cooperation, And you talk to the dad, and he just, like when I met him, he hugged me and he cried, and he said, my sons come out with me now. My sons aren't worried about video games and social media anymore. They're out there tracking with their dad. So how awesome is that? Like, heartfelt. And Survivor Man told me about that stuff, about how he brought families together and all that cool stuff. So, and then because of that goodness, because of that love, because of that passion, because I helped somebody, I got to film a Sasquatch, right? Don't tell me that goodness doesn't come back and karma, right? I get a lot of people talking about the haters and the negative people, but what about that? What about that love, guys? It's love, it's wonder, it's amazement. And I start doing that. You know what? You want to hear a little secret? Nobody knows this. I started doing. I'm a dog crazy guy. Crazy about I have a beautiful Rottie, and I just love her to death. And she blew her knee, the equivalent of a dog knee, and I needed like $3,000 for a surgery. And I thought, well, I don't really have the ability to make that, and I'm far behind, and I want to do Sasquatch research. So I did expeditions for the first year to pay for my dog's knee surgery. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what I did, and her knee got better all on its own. And then I just put that money back into expeditions. And then but what's the real reason I'm doing expeditions? Because I thought it was cheesy. Survivor Man, Les Stroud told me to do that for years, and so did John Bitternagel. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't take people out. But what made me keep doing it was the awesome people and the friends that I started loving the wilderness more. Is that crazy? Things I took for granted. I'd be like, well, that's medicinal. You got to put this leaf on the cut, and it feels good, and it heals up faster. And I'd be teaching them these things. Guys would be like walking along, eating berries in the wilderness after 5 days with me, foraging as they walk along in the wilderness, foraging and eating, and I'm looking at, and these guys are getting it, and they go, oh, don't eat that, oh, eat this, and 5 days, 6, 7 days into it, these guys are really getting their levels are up there. They're looking at tracks, identifying elk difference between, and you know how awesome that is? I've taken out freaking wildlife officers. And I remember, I'll never forget this one time. This dumbass, we get to where there's a herd of elk. And I'm going, these are the male and these are the female. He's like, what the hell are you talking about? It's not even elk, these are moose. I'm trying to be nice. Moose? What? It's not moose. These are elk. I'm explaining to him. I'm like, even this is a female, this is a male. This is a big male, this is a little female. And this guy's gonna go off over there. And they go. He's like, how the hell do you? These are moose. And I go, really? Let me ask you a question then. Let's just break this down because and the other biologists are there going, I think the biologist is right. And I go, really? Okay, cool. Ever heard of a herd of moose? Ever? And they go, no, moose don't live in herds. I go, and we've got what 20 individuals here? Ever seen 20 moose hanging out together? And they went, oh. And it's clearly not deer. Nobody was that ignorant to call this deer. They're big, elk isn't as big as a moose. And then they went, oh, and then they went, it's elk. And then they started listening, and I started explaining stuff about what they're eating and their scat and how I can tell the difference between a male and a female and how I know it's a rutting and why they're going to go these different ways. And they start. I'm not an elk expert, but I'm a jack of elk and moose and deer and mountain lions and bears. I have to be. I survive out there, right? I understand these animals. But anyways, it's crazy the ignorance out there, and yeah, so. A lot of stuff and a lot of love, and it's great. These expeditions are wonderful, and these guys call me up. They're friends. I can't tell you how many Christmas calls I get from my friends, that are expeditioners that are, wow. It's and then Survivor Man. I took him on expedition. Jeff Meldrum, he's a colleague, and I took him on expedition. John Bitternagel, I made a wonderful friend and mentor out of him so how could I stop doing these expeditions because they're just doing these wonderful things for me, and it makes me happy to do this and. Yeah, so, all right, let's get, you guys have awesome questions. Look at all that stuff. Sun G, his girlfriend from the Mysteries Decoded show his paid actress, not his girlfriend. For many who suppose tracks Bigfoot, you should learn how to cover your own tracks better. Huh, so somebody's talking about his girlfriend from Mysteries Decoded is a paid, right? So this is a person trying to debunk me, I guess, that my girlfriend is a paid actress. No, she wasn't she's not a paid actress. So, and not his girlfriend? What? For man you supposedly tracks Bigfoot, you should learn how to cover your own tracks. Okay, well anyways, yeah, I worked with a woman this year, and I wanted a partner to work with, and she was the best and showed up and she did really well. And when we were on Mysteries Decoded, they gave me money for Mysteries Decoded, and I gave her money for Mysteries Decoded. They paid money for us to go on Mysteries. The show is getting paid, I don't know, let's say $100,000, and the show, that whole episode is about me. If you watch the show, it's about me. So if they're getting $100,000 for the episode, they're going to give me some money to do the episode. And when I have a partner out there, she's taking the week off work. She was out there for 7 days. You think I'm not going to financially remunerate her? Absolutely. And I wanted a real partner. And it was like I'm training her to, rise up and do great. So, Sun G, you're a twit. You lose, dumbass. And people, you know what? You really see these dumbasses. They take a little truth and they twist it and turn it and they manipulate it. It's like, you're pathetic. So, anyways, Greg Oaks, I sure wish you'd get back out there and get more footage of some more Bigfoots. I'm working on it, guys. Don't give me a hard time. People get really rude about it. Where's your new footage? I'm busting my ass. I'm doing the best I can, and it will get more. And I get hardships in life, and I go through hard times, and I'm going through that right now. So terrible, awful family situation, but I will. Do you think Sasquatch are more active at night or during the day? And that's Chris. That's a good question. I used to think it was during night, but then day, I'd attribute it to deer. Deer will move based on when there's less pressure, right? And the Sasquatch will move based on when they want to move, based on when it's going to make them happy, right? So I've usually, it's night for me still. Even, I'm seeing a lot of daytime stuff now, but it's mostly night. So I've never seen tracks in the snow trapping in northern Minnesota. I think, yeah, and Mark, tracks for Sasquatch in the winter are so bloody rare. That's why my theory is that they go into caves and just chill out because of the feet freezing up issue, and because they'd be leaving tracks all over the place. And every time they leave a trackway, it's difficult to cover that trackway up or to evade. But believe me, they'll evade. 2 times I followed Sasquatch tracks that I was just going to go to the end of the earth and I was going to follow these Sasquatch and follow them back. One time I lost the trackway. They just went into a windy valley, super windy valley. The valley's like, there are areas where it's just crazy wind all the time. So you follow them through the snow and you see this wind and it's like, miles and miles of blowing wind all over the place. Guess what? Track's gone. So lost that trackway. They can walk backwards in their track. They've done that to me. And then the other time it was rock climbing. They just went to a rock ledge and went up a mountain. Good luck following them now. It was rock climbing that would have life or death kind of rock climbing with a backpack and in wintertime with the snow and all the avalanches and stuff. I'm not following a Sasquatch up there. And it's, you know what? Try to follow a gorilla or a chimpanzee climbing. It's not going to happen. I don't have the strength. And they can climb, this was a 15-inch track, a male who was younger. A young gorilla is going to outclimb the hell out of me, right? Just destroy me. I mean, King Kong climbs up the Empire State Building. Nobody ever complained about that because that's how amazing these primates are. Their hand strength is incredible, amazing. So human beings can have good hand strength, but it's nothing primate. A chimpanzee will just crush. Like, they're just so powerful. So powerful in the hands. Trump seat triple. Hey, Todd, Chieftain. In my Army survival book, you should be able to Google it. I think you're talking about that there's Sasquatch in an Army survival book. I've seen that. Todd, do you ever expedition in the Sierras? No. I'm trying to expedition in my spot because that's where I've been there for over a decade and I'm getting really good results. I don't want to. It's cheesy and it's BS to scientists, to chimpanzee experts, to primatologists that work on gorillas. It's BS if you're wandering all over the place doing different work with different Sasquatch. It's totally crap. That doesn't work that way. That's why I want to cooperate and mentor and work with people, because they can do the time. And some of them have already been there for, like a trapper, for example. The Sasquatch have been watching you for as long as you've been there, probably, right? That's where I went into Nordegg. The trappers there had been there for at least a decade, and the Sasquatch just thought the world of him and liked him. And so that's why the success with people, and it went from the trapper to other people, which was me at the time, and went pretty well. But so moving from place to place is very foolish, very, very foolish. Whitney Hoffman, Todd, no, that's Mama Jen. Do you think they have full out families? Yes, like typical male, female. Well, no, actually, it would be it'd be like gorillas. So they have a dominant male, and then he has a harem of females, and then he has his sons that grow up and then leave. And I've never seen anything to show otherwise. And then and that's why. Let's theorize again, because this is a very uncomfortable subject. That's why in the Sasquatch DNA there is, I don't even like saying allegedly, but according to the PhDs that I've cooperated with, excuse me, the human DNA is on the female mitochondria side, which means that male Sasquatch are bred with human females. The only reason that would be, another reason that would substantiate that theory is that one male is breeding with a lot of females, and a lot of males never get to breed. Only the dominant male breeds. So you get males running around that are, that want to breed, and they would find people to do that. I know it's I'm sorry that's uncomfortable for people, but don't have any water. Anyways, let's get some more questions here. Hey, what do you bring here? Do you ever go expedition Sierras? Hey, Todd, how many babies would you say a female Sasquatch has? And do you think that the females help raise them and one male will mate? Yes, and that's exactly, I was just talking about that. MCCY, Meki. But like gorillas and chimpanzees and human beings, we all have like usually one child, sometimes twins, but yeah. And I don't know. I think a baby Sasquatch, an infant, there could be difficulties in the winter. Winters are hard, right? So it's going to be hard, I think. I don't know how, but then you could theorize too that Sasquatch are so amazing. Maybe they don't have such a hard time in the winters. Maybe they do really, really well. It's easy for them. I don't know. So Mason White, Sasquatch, Dan Priest, how do deer get water in the winter? Drink unfrozen water. Well, yeah, deer and elk and everything, they get water. They need water, and they don't eat snow. Rivers are flowing. Rivers flow in minus 50. I've seen rivers flowing. Or if you get ice on top, that you can break through pieces of ice. There's always a section that's open. There's a way. So, and actually, I don't really. I'm not 100% that deer and elk and moose wouldn't eat snow for water. There's a lot of reasons in survival you don't eat snow. You go to actual water sources. There's a lot of reasons for it, and I can't think of them off the top of my head, but there's major reasons for it. And there's trackways to the water sources, and you see it all the time. So, yeah. Do you think we have them in Tucson, Arizona? I don't know. I haven't been to Arizona. I'd like to build that cooperation, though. Hi, Todd. How many babies? Okay, we did that one. Mercy, SoCal. I would imagine they support each other. Would they keep their numbers smaller, easier? This is a good question. To feed them and remain hidden constantly and beyond the move. So Alan's saying, wouldn't they keep their numbers smaller? So, for so many reasons, keep your numbers smaller, right? You're easier to evade, easier to stay hidden. But would a species do that on purpose? I don't know. That's a hard question, right? I don't think so. I think they have but what I always attribute to something that's definitely real is loss of habitat equals loss of life. So, right? And they're losing habitat. We're taking over habitat. But that's a really complicated question. I can't see them purposefully doing that. So I would say no. Am I just having two children to keep hidden? No, I'm having two children. It's what I want. So, and I think just Sasquatch are going to be breeding, and yeah, I can't see. I wouldn't be able to see any evidence, even to hypothesize why Sasquatch would stop breeding. You know what I mean? Like, why would they? No, I just think they're going to breed. And I mean, let's face it, breeding happens. People breed for a reason. People have that sex drive, right? Well, people and animals and primates all have that sex drive. So it looks like I got Danielle on here helping me out. Thanks for coming in, Daniel. I don't know if Amanda's here or Phil's here. I should be making some of you regulars. There's Amanda. Hey, Amanda, how's it going? Some people are duplicating questions. That's cool. So thanks, Amanda, for tuning in tonight. Or no, sorry, Amanda. That's Danielle. Brain freeze. I know learning from Todd is... Thank you, Lavender. Learning from Todd is amazing. VIP The People Network. I want to see that one. It's coming down. So it looks like maybe a good question. My brother heard a long howl when they were camping, and he came running home one night. Yeah, and was it a wolf? Was it a coyote? And just for me, it's volume, like pure volume. A wolf and a coyote cannot make the sound that a Sasquatch can, just the sheer volume of it. And I know that's saying a lot. Wolves can be loud, right? And wolves are very ho ho ho, like it's really, wolves are, and coyotes, they and then coyotes can, and I've seen coyotes and wolves that get really excited at times. They go, they make like a funny, kind of like a hyena sound when they get really excited about a kill, or just lots of things happen that are exciting. They make those kind of sounds. But again, when they get excited, I think the loudest wolf or coyote sound is the howls. They really pound those howls out big time. And, a Sasquatch, the loudest howl that a wolf and a coyote can make, a Sasquatch is just so much louder, so much more pounding, so much more primate sounding too. So, yeah. I think they could control their family numbers, but not the overall number of the species. Well, how do you think that, Ken? I'd like to learn too. So, hi, Cynthia. Thanks for your nice comment, Cynthia Sunquest. Bigfoot reality check, North Olympic possibility vocalization of some sort. I grew up in that area. Yeah, North Olympic. And vocalizations are nice. They're never going to prove Sasquatch are real. I'd say my videos are a whole level above. Like video 3 that I have, a Sasquatch running faster than any man, is much better than any audio recording. And the Patterson Gimlin footage is amazing. So, audio stuff is nice, and I guess it's entertaining. I have some audio stuff this year that I'll probably put in my documentary, maybe. But even tracks are much better than audio, I think. Yeah, I would give tracks even a step above sound, because like a person can really do that. When you get amazing organic tracks, you just can't fake that. Sorry guys, but you can't. A man can't be 500 pounds and have stilts on and have the organic movement of a track. You can't. And then dermal ridges, like the track evidence is at par with the evidence with fingerprints. If somebody breaks in your house, leave fingerprints, you get caught with fingerprints in somebody's house. That's jail, man. That's like, have a good day, and that's the way it is. The dermal ridges in Sasquatch tracks have basically proven, they've really gone to the point where it's proven Sasquatch is real. Jeff Meldrum used those dermal ridges and the organic way that the Sasquatch foot move. He's had the Sasquatch feet proven as from an animal that actually exists, a primate that actually exists, and so that's how significant the tracks are. There's no audio that would ever do that. So, but the audio, I understand the appreciation and everything with the audio, but and there's lots of audio stuff going around right now that's doing really well and good, and I find it amazing. I'm entertained by it, but it's not good evidence, so it's really low on the evidence poll. So I've been wanting to catch you live. Just want to tell you that I really appreciate your hard work. I'm from CT on 15 acres, and creepy stuff goes on here in CT. Well, like what, Aldo? I'd love to hear about that. And don't tell us that here. Go to bigfootencounter@gmail.com and send us your report there. Because creepy stuff. Well, So I'll tell you straight, my friend, from Aldo, that if it's haunting and weird ghostly stuff, then it's don't call me. Who are you gonna call? Not me. So but Sasquatch can be terrifyingly scary. They're extremely stealthy and amazing. But scary, and so, and I would think I don't do ghosts, and I don't know anything about ghosts, but if I see Sasquatch behavior, I'll tell you. And if it's just weird ghostly behavior, I don't know, talk to a ghost person, right? So, and that happens to me. I'd be like, okay, that's not a Sasquatch, that's some kind of ghost not leaving tracks. But network news, WT, anyways, Big Long, they smelled a smell also. Oh, you're talking about in conjunction with an audio. That's great. And how would a smell rate? A smell I think a smell would rate right up there at the level, maybe even above. I'd have to think about it. Because smell, like when you smell a primate smell, I'll tell you, boy, when I go on expeditions and I tell people that's a Sasquatch, I mean it, that's a Sasquatch. There's no person that you don't make that smell. So, especially out in the hell of middle of nowhere, and I'm going where that smell is because there's going to be tracks and evidence. It's all that substantiation, right? So, what sucked about Survivor Man on the episode, that we had an incredible call made back to us, and that Sasquatch called back to Survivor Man. It was just so amazing. It blew my mind. Mind-blowingly awesome. But we were at the end of our hike. Like, we were like, when I go on a hike and with Survivor Man, he's tough as nails, and we'll hike hard for, let's say 7 hours in, 7 hours out in the rolling hills in Nordegg. If it's 7 hours in, it's 7 hours out usually. Maybe you can get out an hour early, but that's 7 and 7 is 14 hours, and now it's going to be dark. We don't go dickering around in the woods in the dark. It's too dangerous. So we were at the end, and that Sasquatch that had called back to Survivor Man, I mean, it was miles in, and I went back and found a trackway to substantiate that call. But weeks later, but it was hard, and I had to go backcountry and sleep out in the wilderness. But it was important to me because Survivor Man heard it, and that's such a big deal. It was, I didn't just hear it by myself. Survivor Man heard it, and the way it happened was so incredible. Survivor Man Bigfoot, season 1 in Nordegg, he made an incredible, heartfelt, beautiful call, and a Sasquatch called back to him the exact same way. And when am I bringing up my next documentary, Lee asks? As soon as I get it done. I'm just working on it. It's so hard. Making a movie is a lot of work for me, guys. So much work. Sometimes it goes fast. Sometimes I got to deal with computer difficulties, and it's tough. Mason White, SoCal, try to walk in the woods barefoot. That's why there's so many. They're so quiet. There's barefoot, so much quiet. Yeah, that's right. And it's more than that. Walking barefoot in the woods, you're getting connected to nature. You're touching nature. It'll balance out your chemistry, your body body energy. It does. They're prescribing that to people. Walk around in nature barefoot. And it's wonderful, and you build up pads on the bottom of your feet. I did it a lot this year, and it was wonderful. I really loved it. So okay, and let's all be nice, guys. It's Christmas. I've dealt with spirits. They throw me across the room and more. Yeah, and this is not the place for spirits and stuff like that. So I have no knowledge of that stuff, and I will not be delving into that whatsoever. Survivorman is pretty cool too. I learned a few stuff from him. Watching, yeah, he's great shows. His shows are amazing. Beyond Survival is my favorite. If you watch those are so classic and so wonderful. Just what incredible. Sasquatch is a shapeshifter. Thank you for your opinion, Tida Hallcrow. It sounds like that's a Hallcrow. That sounds like a native name. I completely disagree with you. Nope, I just completely disagree with you, and that's wonderful. And I respect your beliefs. I respect your opinions, but no, I will not. When it comes to, I love spirituality, and I'm very connected, and I have a spiritual animal. I do spiritual rituals. I do sweats. I love the connectivity, and I've heard that, and so, and this is my opinion, but I'm more, as much as I'm a child of spirituality and connectiveness to nature, I'm also a child of the philosophies of Jeff Meldrum, John Benernagel. Survivorman's very much, he's very spiritual. He's the most spiritual guy I've worked with publicly, and but he's as much about the spiritual, about the science, as he is about the spirituality. Maybe even more about the science. That's how Les is. He's very grounded. He's very into truth, and he's an amazing human being. Yeah, I just can't say enough good things about Les Stroud. Watch his shows, guys. Everything on his shows is absolutely legit and real, and he's the real deal, tough as nails. I don't believe Sasquatch are interdimensional. Yeah, and I don't, not for, no, you should be careful when you start talking about that, because I studied physics in university, and interdimensional, when you start talking about that stuff in the fourth dimension, a scientist who knows about fourth dimension, a three-dimensional being doesn't exist on a four-dimensional plane anymore. You know what I mean? Like, a real scientist is going to go, now you're just being a twit, and we lose credibility. When you start talking about dimensional transportation and going into the fourth dimension, stuff like that, you lose serious credibility. It's like you're, you just look like you're ignorant, and you are ignorant when you start talking about that stuff, and you are convinced of it. So, Cynthia Sunquest says, he was made for this. How much do your backpack weigh when you go backcountry? Oh, how much does my backpack weigh? It gets lighter and lighter because as I eat the food out of it. And it really depends on what I'm doing. So I'd like to have, I don't usually have the big backpacks that go around your waist and stuff. I have a smaller one, and I just put what I need. Powders are great. I take protein powder with me. I guess people don't know this, because powder, I mix it in water, obviously, and it's, and then I'll mix it in water in a creek. So I have, like, let's say I have 5 pounds of powder. That's pure protein, right? And I'll mix that with water. And then I like to take potatoes. I have baked potatoes that last for days and days, and they don't smell. And then broccoli, carrots not so much, because I don't think they digest so well unless I cook them. I have them partially cooked. They'll last for days. And probably my number 2 thing, besides the protein powders, I'll take specialty bread. You saw Lord of the Rings, they have that lamnas bread. Well, there's a bread that they make that's really rich. It's made from old ancient grains, they call it, and sprouted wheat grains. And like 2 pieces of this bread is like a loaf of regular good whole wheat bread. And it's rich, and you can feel it, like it just gets in your body, and it's rich, and your body just, like, it just goes through you, and you feel like it's heavy bread. And so I get 2 loaves of that. And so 2 loaves of bread and the powder. I don't even bring water. I know where my water sources are, and that's really important, because water is freaking heavy, right? Super heavy. So, and where I do research, there's just such a tremendous abundance of water. So much water. Tons and tons of water everywhere. Creeks and rivers, and that's like an army will move from water to water sometimes when they need it, and that's what anyways, that's what I do, is I go for the water sources. So, do Sasquatch bend trees into arches? Dying to know. I don't know, Justin Matthews. I went, one of the expeditions I did last year, I was so convinced of that. So, but what I need, Justin, is I need it over and over and over. And there was just one time where I was with some other people, and they were really like, Todd, these arches are obviously Sasquatch. And we're in hot Sasquatch habitat. There's Sasquatch tracks, Sasquatch tree breaks, Sasquatch structures. And then there's these beautiful arcs that they'd bend in. They were way up high. They couldn't have happened naturally. And when you're backcountry in the middle of nowhere, there's no people out there. You got to understand, guys, like the places I go, the spot around, like if you look at Nordegg on a map, Nordegg's in the hella middle of nowhere. What's there, like 500 people in town? And I go north, you know, it's between Nordegg and Hinton. There's nothing there. Nothing's just like nothing there. You know, it's all just hundreds of thousands of square miles of wilderness to go, because Hinton and Nordegg and all these little tiny Canadian towns are just surrounded. You could just go around them like nothing. You can go from Nordegg you could go up to Alaska and just go around people, and besides crossing a road once in a while, which is easy because these roads aren't busy. You know, it'd be easy to cross the road at night. You'd never be seen. It'd be a joke to get through there, and you'd never be seen. And hundreds of thousands of square miles of terrain all over, and we're out in the middle of nowhere, and you see these things with Sasquatch tracks in the ground where men have never possibly walked, or maybe two men in the history of our planet have walked in this particular area. It's that untouched, really, not exaggerating. Old, ancient forests that are untouched. And there's arcs that are anyways, that's a hell of a long answer, but so I need more. I need to see it more. But yeah, you really got to just use your, be skeptical and really try to deduce it as best you can. And yeah, but I would have to say yes. So not a strong yes, but a decently confident yes. Todd, you should take a tour of Bigfoot country and a foundation. I should take a tour of Bigfoot country and a foundation. Okay, thanks for that, Lavender. I don't know. Take a tour of Bigfoot. I have. That's what I told Survivor Man is welcome to Bigfoot country, and he did a cool cutaway and stuff when we found some stuff. And a foundation. Yeah, I'm kind of working on that. A not-for-profit foundation stuff. I just need people to do that. So, Sam Taylor, are Sasquatch three? No, they're not. Well, they're three-dimensional, like we're three-dimensional. What are your thoughts on the stories of their tracks disappearing in the middle? And that's Sam, dude, that's just them outsmarting you. They're outsmarting you. They don't leave tracks in the middle of the field. Literally, the time that I was done with that dimensional portal crap, because somebody shot a Sasquatch, and the Sasquatch walked right in the middle of the field and then disappeared. You know what he did? He walked back in his tracks. And the way I knew this, I saw this happen. I saw this in the trackway happen once, 100%. Happened. Sasquatch is running, leaving these big long strides, and when following him in a snowmobile, huge strides, perfect Sasquatch tracks, deep, like 3 feet of snow. He's just giving her, right? Suddenly he starts walking, and I slow down in the snowmobile. Whoa! And this is a track that's 5 to 10 minutes old. You know how awesome it is? You know the feeling that I had? Like I have goosebumps right now just thinking about I'm following a Sasquatch. He's listening to this snowmobile, and I'm chasing his butt down. And he's got nowhere to go. I got him. Right in the middle of a freaking field. Track stop. Again, he's running. Suddenly he's walking, and I slow down. He's right here. There's the tracks. It's super fresh. Right in the middle of a field. You see my snowmobile circle around going, what the hell? But he was running. Then he started walking. The reason he started walking, because he was outsmarting me, because he was going to walk. You can't jump backwards into your track, but you sure can walk backwards into them. And what did he do? He started walking by a tree, walked backwards to the tree, jumped up on the tree, jumped from tree to tree to tree, and said, see you later, buddy. And about a day later, I figured it out. Tracking down these guys are masters, and that's not even. I've seen way smarter than that. So that three-dimensional thing was started by legitimately a Sasquatch. They're so much smarter than trackers, right? They're so much smarter than white and native. Not smarter, but they're just better. I don't know what the word to use is, but they're just superior. Maybe these aren't good words, but I make no apologies for it. They're incredible trackers. That's all they do. They're taught and trained for thousands of years. They've been tracking. They have skills to do with tracking that are they've evolved. You understand that? They've evolved sensory perceptions to track, I believe. So, and I've seen it, and it's real. They're tracking at a level that's, forget about it. I'd need 10,000 years of evolution in my offspring after offspring evolving just to even hope to catch up with their abilities. That's how amazing their tracking is. Really get it. That's why they evade us so easily. I mean, you're a freaking, imagine a 5-year-old taking on a trained UFC fighter. Not going to happen. John Jones, one of the greatest fighters in the whole world, takes on a 5-year-old. That's what my tracking abilities, as high up as I am, versus one of them. It's not even a fight, guys. It's absolute. And I learned this a long time ago. That's why I go out there, and now I go in there and go, teach me, because I'm just a student, and you guys are so light years ahead of me. The more you learn about Sasquatch, the deeper I get into it, the more I go, no wonder they evade us so easily. No wonder we haven't discovered them. No wonder. So it's that simple, guys. It's not even complicated. I wish people could just, I could just talk. I should do a book on the explanation of how you could, to help people understand how easy it is for them to evade us, how easy it is for them to be undiscovered. It's not that complicated. We're not as amazing as you think we are. We are not. They are. So, we are amazing. What the hell? We're technologically brilliant. Amazing. Our technology is outstanding. They're that good in the wilderness. We're technologically advanced. They're wildernessly advanced. That's not the word. But biologically designed and advanced. We make our environments, and they adapt to their environments, and that's the difference. And if you don't understand the amazing brilliance of nature, guys, holy crap, how good a wolf can smell, how amazing an eagle can see, the ability for a beaver to eat wood and survive, and a bat to pull insects out of the air. You don't understand how incredible nature is, then forget about it. If you don't just look at nature and go, oh my God, deer are incredible animals, absolutely amazing. The ability they have to hear and see and smell. This is a deer, and people just, what's a deer? No, man, we can't hear like a deer. We can't adapt technology to hear like a deer. They have this thing called the deer ear. It's not even anywhere nearly as good as an organic biological deer. And then their sense of smell is incredible. There's no machine that can help you smell. And then the way they see, it's incredible that, we have to have night vision goggles, and I get bad headaches if I have a night vision on for more than an hour. I feel like there's a knife in my head. People are like, oh, our night vision is amazing. Yeah, wear it for 4 hours. And a deer wears his night vision forever. And it's still superior to the freaking night vision crap that we have, And look at us with a freaking night vision on. It's ridiculous. Big piece of metal on your head. And you're trying to move and you bump into something. A deer's like it's in his brain. You understand the advancement of biology over our technology when you're really going to butt with it? No, man. Don't verse nature. Oh, my God. Our own biology is incredible, so do they make machines that can move, and are they making androids like us? Hell no, not yet. I mean, they will someday, sure, but for right now, we can't do that stuff. So appreciate and admire your own biology. There's a reason people have jobs and we don't have androids running around in machines, because there's stuff that people, organic things that we can do. So Eddie Cash says, I think any signs you find are not hidden. It's the signs that you don't see that mean stuff to Sasquatch. I leave small, broken, live twigs when I go out hunting as markers. Started doing this since I was a kid. Eddie, what a brilliant thing to say. I couldn't agree with you more. I've been out way hella backcountry on maybe 5 times in my life, where I've found tracks or signs that the Sasquatch left for other Sasquatch. It's so rare, but these are obvious signs, like a tree break, or actually they were just tree breaks and little tree structures and stuff that Sasquatch do for Sasquatch. And I felt amazing to see that. And then, I have Randy that I worked with in close to Vancouver, British Columbia, and he showed me about the triangles they put down. But again, those triangles are for us. You're right. What Eddie means is the stuff that we see for Sasquatch, they're the obvious stuff that they want us to see, or they're not being secretive about it at all. It's like, and most of the time people are too dumb. People look at tree breaks and go, that could happen natural. Shut up. It's not natural. What the hell? He's dumbass. And I give people, I'll roll my eyes and go, okay, try to be nice to the, because he's ignorant, and I was ignorant like that. But there's tree breaks are not happening naturally. The more you learn about, there's nothing natural that Sasquatch do that. And when a Sasquatch is like, really, he thinks that that's natural. And so, but what Eddie has is completely right. That's why I'm a student, Eddie, because I want them to teach me this stuff. That's why I tap. I'm tapping. You guys win. You're the teacher, I'm the student, so please teach me. And that's what I've been talking about even today, right? I'm just a student. And the stuff that they could teach us, oh my God, wouldn't it be this could be just such an incredible discovery, you know? I had a native person tell me once. He says, if you could just communicate with the Sasquatch, they know where the gold is. And I go, huh? I go, they've been through all the caves, all the caverns. They know this land. If you told them that you told them about gold, they would go show you where the gold is. Like where a place called Golden, BC, there's gold flecks all over the place, and it comes from some gold source, and you think somebody would find it. They haven't. And I mean, there are gold flecks, like there's billions of gold flecks coming from a major source. It's just coming down the river. Go find it. They can't. The best mineralogists, all of these incredible scientists have been all through there they can't find where the gold is. The Sasquatch would find it though, because they've been to places they know. They're just so amazing. So, and they would know where there's gold veins and stuff like that. So anyways, what this woman was telling me though was the Sasquatch could buy their own land, because they could show you where minerals are and gold and take you to that, and then use that gold to buy land. Brilliant, right? But I mean, this is so far away. The Sasquatch are not sitting down at base camp with me and having an apple, they're not there yet. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that. So I really wish I work for that, and it would be amazing. And somebody's made some donation. Thanks you so much, guys. I'm with you, dreams since I was a kid. Thanks so much, Cynthia. Thanks for your donations, guys. The best way to make a donate, most of your donation goes to this platform. So a significant amount, like 80%. So, and I'm very grateful for this platform, because I get to hang out with you guys, and it's awesome. This platform is amazing. And if my website, discoveringbigfoot.org, it's the donators, man. You get stuff when you make a donation there, and the monthly donators are going to be involved. So I'm going to get right back on that stuff right away, giving them stuff that's photographs and posters and the download. I'm no longer on Netflix. My Netflix 2-year contract is up. So if you want a copy, I can give you that movie and other stuff that I don't really talk about. But there's other stuff that I give away, that I give to donators. And it's really, we're doing Bigfoot, guys. I'm a full-time Sasquatch researcher. Have a good day. I am. You want to make people jealous and upset? Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your donations. Thank you for watching my shows on YouTube. Let the commercials play, please, because I get like 0.0001 cents every time. We get millions of views on YouTube. We do so well, and but we don't get paid much. But with the expeditions and donations and a little bit from YouTube, and then the TV shows that I do, it's made me a full-time Sasquatch researcher. And isn't that amazing? I'm a full-time legitimate Sasquatch researcher, and me and my people are out there working it, getting it done, going to the next level, fighting for this discovery. And I think that's so amazing, right, guys? So questions. I'll do a couple more questions. I've seen something's randomly knocked over and learning the same woods in Cass Country, NE. Okay. Cynthia watched it, really was real. A message was held for review. I'm looking towards and the next documentary is going to be fun. I'm figuring out how to get that all together, guys, because I don't want to. In the next documentary, it's California Bigfoot is the next documentary, and I'm trying to show what happened without making it a 411, where the Sasquatch was that Sasquatch. I'll never go back to California, because I think he would kill me if I went back there. So he just didn't like me, and but I want to put that in my documentary. Like I get it, he could have killed me, but he didn't, and I don't want to make it into this. I don't want to make it into too much of a big deal, but it is the big deal. Sasquatch latched onto me and would have crushed me and killed me, and he made it known to me. And it was all there that don't come back here. I don't want you here. I don't like you, and that's it. So I won't go back there. Believe me, when the big guy, I always tell this expedition, when the big guy comes around, we're likely leaving, because it's just not a nice day. So I've never had an encounter with the big guy. Actually, when the big guy comes around and makes his presence known, I got to be specific. I think I had a big guy come around a couple years ago and was doing some fun stuff around the base camp and stuff. He was, imagine, so I wake up and it was Jonathan, was the expeditioner. He's a former U.S. Army Ranger. And he wakes up and gives me a kick, and we hear, crunch, 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 thump. And nothing does that. And I've never heard of Sasquatch. It was the first time I ever heard of Sasquatch. It was clearly a Sasquatch. And we're in a tent. And it's right outside the tent. And he's grinding his foot with the front part of his foot. So he's grinding his foot, and then boom, he banged the heel down. And we go, bump. And then you hear it again. The next foot will go up, bump. So imagine putting the ball of your foot and grinding the ball of your foot and then banging your heel down. That's what was happening. There's no reason for that sound to be made. And we went and tried to duplicate that sound. Forget about it. The ground was just, you have to be like powerful and enormous to do that. And the boom was like, you could feel the ground boom. So, and then, you unzip your sleeping bag a little bit, and then the sound stops. Then you open the tent, and he's gone. So I think he was gone. I go out and have a look. I investigate it, and it was scary. Even, you know what, we changed some tactics big time. We had to change a lot of stuff that we were doing because I didn't want that to happen. It was terrifying. And there's really nothing we can do. So, and when you're a Sasquatch researcher and Sasquatch are coming around and you don't want it to be happening, you better change stuff. So we made some changes, a lot of changes. Even the next couple nights, we were putting out cams and stuff that just didn't catch anything. But yeah, we made changes and we adapted, and that's the discovery, guys. It's so it's like that. You're just like, okay, that's happening. Now what do you do? And then you make changes, you adapt, and then it stops happening. So Whitney Hoffman asked me to come to Pennsylvania. I'd love to mentor somebody from Pennsylvania, Whitney. I'd love to mentor you and help out. So discovery bigfootencounter@gmail.com. discoveringbigfoot.org is my, if you go to you guys are on YouTube, on most of my new videos, there's a link at the bottom to discoveringbigfoot.org. You can't really search it. I'm all hidden. You want to talk about conspiracies and stuff? What the hell? The stuff that I'm doing, it's all hidden, and my stuff is all, there's hatred stuff that comes up, and negativity, and all these ridiculous people that think they're debunking me, stupid things that they say. And it's like I have there's a couple PhDs that I work with, and they're like, dude, you're like, I take them out. I showed them Sasquatch. These people are like, holy crap, you're so real. You're so legit. Listen to the words coming out of my mouth. Don't take my word for it. I will come out and take you and show you a Sasquatch. I've already done that. Hello? Is this thing working? Hello? That's what I do. Those Sasquatch footage is real. You don't believe it? You don't think it's real? Okay, I'll take you out and show you one. That's who I am. That's what I do. And it's not, pop culture is not getting it. I took Survivor Man out. Survivor Man knows I do this. He believes me. Jeff Meldrum saw a Sasquatch. Jeff Meldrum is a PhD. Brilliant, honest, amazing man. Clearly, I showed him a Sasquatch. You know what happened? Nothing. People make these stupid excuses. Oh, this girl you worked with is an actress. What the hell are you talking about? I take people out and show them Sasquatch. I know this sounds ridiculous. This is what I do. Hello. And it's not it's not catching on. I'm doing okay. I'm a full-time researcher thanks to these great men whose shoulders I've stood on. But right, this is what I do. I have DNA. Like, this is what I do. There's no hoax. I take people out, show them a Sasquatch. This is what I do. And it's not, where's the CNN? Where's the BBC? I asked these people to come out. They're a hoax. CNN, the greatest network, and it's all this big network. Come out and I'll show you Sasquatch. Nah. No. Come on out. BBC, biggest network in the world. Maybe, I don't know. The British Broadcasting Corporation. I will show you a Sasquatch. Come out with me. We're going to pass this year. I was going to pay for them to come out. Do you understand that? Like, people, when they come out on an expedition, they pay their way. They pay for their food and all the stuff that they have to pay for. They pay for their way. I was actually going to spend money, thousands of dollars. I was going to buy their plane ticket. Come out and I'll show you a Sasquatch. Nah. They're the hoax. They're the BSers. I call them out. You guys are full of crap. Fish and Wildlife, where the hell are you? I will take you out and show you a Sasquatch. But they don't exist. Well, why don't you come out with me? That's what we do in a discovery. My movie's called Discovering Bigfoot. Come discover it. Nah. I'll show you a Sasquatch. When you come out and you see a Sasquatch and be like, they're real. Yeah, that was a Sasquatch. And you go see the tracks and you follow it and you smell it. It's all there. People, when I show people a Sasquatch, believe me, they don't believe in Sasquatch anymore. They bloody hell well know it. That was a Sasquatch. I drive them out to hell in the middle of nowhere in a crappy old truck crappy little, just, I'm not out there in $1 million equipment. There's no helicopters, right? I'm going out and my truck's 10 years old and it's all running good. And you got a trailer that's, it's not the greatest trailer. It's pretty clear who I am. I'm like salt of the earth guy, right? Not some rich. So they go out there and they meet my family. Hey, this is your family. Meet him. Like you get to know. You stay at my house. Some people do, right? They meet my son. Oh, this is who you are. This is your house. All humble. Just a humble guy, maybe lower middle class, you would say. And they see all this, and the whole time they're going, "This is really you." Yeah. This is no joke, man. This is who I am. You can come back in a year and I'll still be living in this house with the same, truck and stuff and recycling and doing my best and loving the environment. This is my family. And you take them out in the middle of hell of nowhere. They realize there's no crew out there. There's nothing. You can't. People are not out in like you see bears and mountain lions and wolves. Just the bears and mountain lions are dangerous. And they go, if we were out there, we'd be killed. Yeah, you'd die. So if there's some dude running around in a suit, he'd be killed. Yeah. Well, anyway. But just the reality of it, like none of my expeditioners, none of them. Do you think Jeff Meldrum and John Benenagel were questioning me? They came and stayed at my house. They met my family. These people are like family to me. I think the world of them, So my computer's dying here, guys. So I gotta go. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks for my rant. There's my rant today, right? Just keep coming back, guys. Keep asking your awesome questions. I'll be. I don't know when my next date is. Oh, I haven't got it down. Let's have a quick look here. So what was my next show going to be? So it's obviously not going to be on maybe it should be the 31st. New Year's Eve? No, let's do next Monday, guys. This is Sunday. I'm supposed to be here today. Anyway, maybe I'll do a show tomorrow. Let's do a show tomorrow. It's Sunday. I'm early. And you guys all tuned in anyway. So let's have another show tomorrow. And then we'll have a show on the 30th? Oof, can't do the 30th. Damn it. So we'll do a show tomorrow. We'll talk about it. We'll think about it. My computer's really dying right now. You guys and your awesome. See how these just the simplest little questions, you guys. The simplest little questions just lead to something amazing. So if you have your question, it doesn't matter what it is. It can lead to this incredible answer, and you know what I mean, guys. So please keep asking them, and please keep tuning in. And I won't try to rant too much. Was that fun? Kind of ranting? Like this is the way it is. This is what I do. This is who I am. Let's rant, right? So my DNA, just quickly, my DNA revealed that they're like so human. Whitney is ridiculous. You need a full genome to differentiate because they're hominids. Is what my DNA revealed. They're hominids, and any hominid is going to pass is going to be human. Right? And Neanderthals, if we tested a Neanderthal, it's clearly not a Homo sapien, it's a Neanderthal. And it would test as human in these lower tests. It was just like 6 genomes they tested. But they don't, when you test them next to chimpanzees, they're right off the scale. So it was amazing. The DNA revealed that it's chimpanzees, human beings, and then Sasquatch. So the chimpanzees are over here and the Sasquatch are over here. So the DNA, though, anything past human is the most hominid, and not anymore. The most hominid being, the most